All right, folks, welcome to the Truth Speaks podcast, where truth is shared through real conversations with real people. I'm your host, Dee Mosley, and we're broadcasting from YD Creative Studios. And joining us today is the none other than Gwen James. Welcome to the show, Gwen.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Listen, before we get started, we're going to let the good people who probably living on a rock if they don't know who Gwen James is. We're going to let them know a little bit of your background and who you are, and then we're going to dive into the conversation.
Okay.
So the way we're going to do that is we're going to read a little bit of the bio that Gwen sent us over. So joining us today again is Gwen James, and she is the founder of Dancing with Gwen, Full Figured and Flawless event planning. She has been working in the event planning industry for over 15 years and has developed a strong personal and professional passion for both industries. She is passionate about using her skills to connect with others on both a personal and business level. True, I can attest to that. Yes, she's good at what she does. While she is known for her dancing and event hosting these days, her career highlights include starting her own dance classes, y'all. You got to know. Getting hired for corporate, family, and community events, starting her own plus-size modeling group, which will be celebrating 9 years. Wow. Has it been that long?
It's been 9 years.
Next month, right?
Wow. It'll be 9 years, March the 29th.
So you finna do it big.
Well.
Okay. We're going to get into it. And also, as well as starting her own event planning business. In her free time, Gwen enjoys dancing, of course, hosting, singing, reading good books, and spending time with family and friends. All right, Miss Gwen, let's get into it, girl. My goodness. Okay, so first question, and we're doing this a little club Shay style. Y'all don't tell him I'm biting off him a little bit, but he'll be all right. He will. Okay, so we just mentioned that you started a plus size modeling group. Mm-hmm. What inspired you to do that?
So it was really supposed to be like a one-time, hit it, quit it, I'm done.
Right.
So I used to be, it ain't no secret, everybody know, I used to be this very little, tiny, skinny girl.
Okay.
Back in school,
I think we all was kind of
always come to me
skinny
like,
minis.
You had that Coca-Cola bottle, blah, blah, blah. And I tell them, quit. I think I said it at one of your events when I was a panelist.
Okay.
Okay.
You did.
I'm still
you
fine.
did.
I'm just a 3 liters now.
Yes, you did.
I mean, I'm still.
You did say that. That was a hit. Everybody was like, yes, girl, yes.
So, and it's fashion because going into the stores, you see plus size clothes and you look at regular size clothes, and it's always no shade to it, but it's always like these flowers and these old-fashioned clothes.
Right.
And I was like, us plus-size women deserve to be sexy as well.
Exactly right.
We plus-size, we not, something that need to be boxed up.
Right.
And so I noticed that I've always posted full body pictures, slim, thick, plus-size, whatever the case might be. But a lot of people only took face shots.
Wow.
And so I said, I want to do a fashion show for plus size women only.
Right.
Because I want them to know that no matter your size, you can, you the stuff.
Exactly right.
That's what me.
Exactly.
I'm
exactly.
That was
and a bag of chips.
Yes.
And it's more than just physical body, right?
Right.
And let me tell you, it really does not matter for me. And if I think everybody can say they feel this way. It don't matter how much you weigh.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like you're not happy with your physical appearance, your weight or whatever, because listen, I'm at a place right now. I'm like, girl, what in the world is you doing? And it's about confidence.
Right.
That's the biggest thing.
And sometimes I look at somebody even with your size, girl. Me looking at you like, girl, what you need to lose?
Baby.
And so I do get that from a lot of people
that's
smaller to be like, I need to lose weight. And I be saying to myself, but dang, I bet they be saying she a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you know what? And I appreciate what you're doing because you're helping more people than you know. You helped check some folks that that would easily like let it roll off their tongue, or they'll say something like on social media or whatever, talking about fat whatever, or I need to lose weight. I had to stop doing that because I'm like, well, somebody else, that might offend somebody, or that may make somebody feel bad because they might be looking at me even though I have this self-image of myself, and they be like, child, be quiet.
And see, the thing is with me, like a lot of times, when I first started, people got the misconception of why I was doing it. It was like she out here telling people that she out here promoting being big. She out here promoting being fat. And I said, no, I'm not promoting being big. I'm not promoting being fat. I'm promoting, and my motto was, it's okay to love the person that you are while you're working to become the person you want to be.
Right.
I'm plus size. Do I want to be skinny? No, I don't want to be skinny, but I do want to lose some weight. But that doesn't mean that I don't love who
yourself,
I am.
right?
So I love me while I'm working on me.
And you do it well.
And so
I like that. Say that again.
I love me while I'm working on me. I'm not going to wait until I lose the weight. I'm going to love me because that helped motivate me to get where I'm trying to go.
And listen, that doesn't even have to have anything to do with weight. That mantra, that tag that you just said, I love me while I'm working on me. I can use that for myself. Anybody can.
Yep. So and I did the show right.
I love it.
And it was so many people. Like it was almost a sellout. People came, they supported. The next day, I had all these plus size people tagging me. Like, Gwen James, thank you so much.
It.
Like, I have not, they were like, I hadn't taken a full body picture in so long. I mean, people just started gravitating to tagging me. Like, plus size, I'm full figured, I'm flawless. So it was a big success. And after that, they were like, you can't stop. You got to do it again. And here I am 9 years later.
9 years later.
Still doing it.
But in saying that, you just said, folks are saying, you can't stop, you got to do it again. Has there ever been a time where because you wear a lot of hats. Besides being all things woman for your family, has there ever been a time where you like, I'm tired?
Yes. If you notice, I haven't done a lot with full figure and flawless within the last 2-3 years. And one of them is because I got so busy with my dance and my event planning. But another one is it seems like some other people kind of fell off.
Right.
And I felt like I was chasing,
You felt like you were in it by yourself a little bit.
And I was like, I'm trying to get y'all motivated to do it, but nobody's motivated.
Right.
And I can't do it by myself.
Right.
So, I don't know what happened to the motivation and the drive. And then, honestly, everybody got so into I gotta lose weight. I had a couple of people.
So a lot of people still dealing with the self-image and the self-confidence thing.
Yes, and then I had a couple of people that kind of lost weight that was part of the program, and I reached out to them about, hey, we gotta do a show. A lot of people was like, well, I ain't plus size no more. I can't do it. And I'm like,
wait, what?
But you can still fit in with. It wasn't about being plus size. It was about being confident in the person that you are.
And so, do you think that some of the women who are a part of it or were a part of it kind of are or were confused about the message and the mission?
I didn't think they were until.
But for them to say, I'm not plus size anymore.
When I got that, I kind of started scratching my head like,
it ain't got anything right.
Because I have models now that's not really plus size.
Yeah, you do fashion shows for everybody.
They like that slim thick. They slim and they
thick.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know, but it was a misconception out there. So a lot of times with my models, they would be happy to be in the group, but then somebody would get in their ear on the outside and tell them little stuff like, I don't know if I would do that or they would even ask them, how y'all getting paid to do this and do that. Not
Wow.
understanding that.
So how do you deal with that and continuing to do what you do, especially with the full figure, with the events, the fashion shows? How do you deal with folks that may be looking at it and are still critical about it on the outside looking in, and like you said, kind of creeping in by getting in folks' ears?
Mm-hmm.
How do you drown out the noise?
Well, let me tell you, honestly, I used to let it bother me a lot. But I would vent to my models and I would vent to Jimmy sometimes. But after I vent, I'll be okay.
Right.
I'll be like, oh, well,
Exactly
it
right.
is what it is, because
Exactly
we're going to
right.
keep going.
Yeah, because listen, you have gotten calls from folks from all over the country. You got flued out.
Flued out, girl. That was part of my dance class that I got
Right,
flued out.
right.
And
it was amazing. Let's talk about this dancing. Let's talk about this. So let's talk about how all of that came about, the whole dancing thing. Dancing is, you said you love to dance, and now you have all of these classes, not in just one area, but seem like all over the freaking Tri-City area, everywhere
right now, and one pending.
How in the world do you do it? I mean, dancing is a huge part of your life. So how do you believe your dance background or what you've built with your dancing, how do you feel like it enhances everything else that you do? It does, even with event planning, because you're the hype woman in a lot of instances.
Yes.
So how do you think all of that, it just feels like it all works together?
It does. It just
Ooh,
fits
I love
like a
it.
glove.
I love it.
With me dancing, a lot of instructors, we all serve the same purpose. We just do it in a different way.
Right.
I'm one of those.
I'm glad you said that.
Yes, because people try to put us against
Right,
each other.
right. That whole
It's
competition
not.
thing.
It's not.
Yeah.
We all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
She may not do it the way I do it, but we all got the same goal.
What they say, collaboration over competition.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's exactly it. So, but with me, with my style of teaching, because I'm so hype and I do so much, that people, when they having events like birthday parties or family reunions, they say, we want you there. We love your energy.
Right.
So
yeah.
that was like your energy. So it really helps, because while I'm dancing, I'm hosting at the same time.
I don't see how you do it.
Girl,
I don't know how you do it, because I could never.
And I just love it. Now some people like. Sometimes, Jimmy, I tell him all the time, don't be turning my microphone down. I think he turned it down sometimes. Because I'm just like, sometimes even in regular...
Jimmy, don't do that.
Yes, tell him don't do that. Because even in regular conversation, sometimes I'm just loud. I'm the loud country girl.
You're not the loudest, baby.
He be like,
but it's good.
I be like, Jimmy, that's just me. I'm really not yelling. I'm not fussing. And
but
sometimes I get excited.
Who you are, right?
And I go up a little octave higher.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But it has dancing and hosting and events. Like when I do weddings now, the highlight of them wanting me is for the reception, so that I can hype up the crowd.
So you're not only doing event planning, you're also the hype woman and hyping up the crowd at the reception.
Yes.
Listen, we're going to get into that in just a minute. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, so that we can highlight our sponsor. We want to make sure that everyone knows that Alfreda and the Voices of Hope are our headline sponsors for season 1, and we are so appreciative. We'll be right back.
It's too late. Ooh, it is too late, my Lord. It is too late.
Back, and we were just talking about how you pull off planning somebody's wedding and then transitioning to the reception, and you go from the wedding planner to the hype woman at the reception. What does that look like?
It's so funny. I was doing a wedding in Camp Hill. Was I in Camp Hill? Somewhere.
Yeah.
It was.
Because you everywhere, honey.
It was in Auburn.
Mhm.
I was doing a wedding in Auburn. It was so funny because the wedding was over. They were setting up. The photographer was still doing pictures, and I was kind of making sure that the guests were seated where they supposed to be seated. And in coming the back door was
This is crazy.
This guy was coming in with ice and beverages
Right.
for the bartender.
Right.
But it was all the way across the room. So I said, give me the ice. So I carried the ice over to the thing, and I started helping bring water and stuff. And then, I introduced the wedding party when they finished, and I started dancing and
This is
hyping.
amazing.
And this guy came to me and said, "What do? You do it all?" He said, "I saw you carry your
Baby.
ice. I saw you helping fix
You
food.
do it all.
I saw you hyping up. I saw you dancing. I saw you directing." He said, "Are you a one-stop shop?"
And you
Started
said, baby,
laughing. I
yes.
said, "You know what? Hey,
Listen.
when they hire me for the wedding, I make sure that I get the job done."
Because like I said, I could never. Because first of all, I can't dance. I'm one of the chair dancers.
We're gonna have to get you a private in-house session.
Oh, God.
So we can get you ready.
Gwen, I still wouldn't be ready.
Look, let me tell you, if anybody can get you
It don't
ready,
move like.
I can get
Now
you
she right about that.
I can get
She's
you ready.
because she did my husband's birthday party, her and Jimmy. And listen, let me tell you, if she had not been there, dry.
But
It would've been dry.
Kevin was on the floor, remember?
Yeah, he right there.
And I was like, "Oh, Kevin."
Yeah, about all we can do is the little two-step,
The
but
two-step,
yeah.
yeah.
But Gwen is you're amazing. You bring everything to life. In saying that, let's look at the other side of it. Can you recall any time where you felt like everything just went wrong at anything that you do?
Actually dancing.
Really?
Yes, COVID hit.
Okay.
And when COVID hit, I don't know. People that know me know I was one of those. I'm not fooling around with this COVID stuff.
Right, I
I'm
remember
not about
that.
to get out there.
I
was
remember that.
wearing 2 or 3 masks at one time. I mean, they would be like, "Girl,
Because
what
it was that serious.
Yes,
It really was.
It was really serious.
Because it was scary.
We lost so many people
We
that
did.
we knew.
We did.
And that's the part that was the scariest. Like, so many people in this area, like, here and just dropping. And so I wasn't playing with
Quickly,
it.
right. Mm-hmm.
But I needed to keep dancing. One of the things that really, really kind of scared me, tied in with the dancing and the full figured and flawless, is the news. The news kept me in fear. One of the things they kept saying was people of plus size was dying fast. From
Really?
COVID. They were saying something about when you plus size and you get it, you land on it, and you
I
already
remember
bigger,
that.
and your lungs and this and that. So, girl, I'm gonna tell you, I lost some good weight when COVID was going.
Wow,
'Cause I was
really?
scared. Now, that's one thing
That was a
scared me.
motivator.
Girl, when I tell you, I was eating oatmeal for breakfast.
Stop it.
Turkey,
Look, I'm going to need for you
turkey,
not to
bacon.
be starving yourself.
Girl, I'm telling you, I lost some good weight.
Wow.
My butt had caught COVID and didn't even know I had it. Well, like a day later, I started getting a little bit congested. Still never felt bad.
Wow.
So, that was when they were sending out all those free COVID tests. So I said, we got all these COVID tests over here.
Right.
I said, let me just take one. Girl, I was just saying,
Positive.
I know this thing ain't going to be just as positive as
Stop.
as
Really?
it can be.
Really?
After that, I didn't have any more symptoms. Like the scratchy throat went away.
Once it tested positive?
Yes.
Now, see, I was one of the ones, I know I had it. I knew I had it, and it was when it was out there bad, and they were sending all the kids back home from college and all of that stuff. Child, my daughter and her friends. Now, COVID thick now. They done went off on a group trip, done got each other sick, everybody in the cabin. They went to the cabin.
And they done brought it back.
Brought it back. But they did not tell us that they were sick until after we got sick. But I was one of those people that never tested positive. But I knew I had it because she had it. I had all the symptoms. And I definitely knew I had it because I lost my taste. That was the biggest thing. Like, I wasn't sick.
Yeah.
So, but I think a couple of times I probably had it. But I was one of those people that never tested positive.
I've tested positive twice. Both times I had the same symptoms, a scratchy throat and a headache. Those are the only symptoms I had.
So how did you deal with that in that season of COVID with the dancing, with especially with the events, because that was like your big thing
That was
back
my big
then.
thing.
So how did you handle that?
So that's kind of when I was saying everything was going wrong. So COVID hit, and they shut everything down, so we couldn't do anything.
Exactly.
But when they opened things back up, that was when I was dancing at Frank Brown. Well, I was too scared to go on the inside of anything. So I said, well, can we dance outside they had like a basketball court.
Wow.
So we started dancing outside, and the ladies, everybody was like, we excited about
right,
coming back, blah, blah, blah. Well, some guys play basketball out there.
Okay.
So the guys was kind of mad, like they was like, but because I paid to use
exactly.
it, we had first priority. But they would still show up and be like, well, can y'all just go over there, kind of like, and I'm like, wait a minute now.
Right, I pay good money.
Yeah,
right.
So the lady actually came out there and told me, y'all can come when she get through, but she's a part of the program.
Exactly.
She's got to. But anyway, so I kind of had now pre-COVID, I probably had about 25 faithful members in my dance class. And that's big.
That is huge.
When they came back, I only had like 6 or 7. And it seems like the
wow,
numbers just
you know
went
what?
down.
I never realized that. You're absolutely
went down
right.
To like 6, 7, then at one time it was only 1 or 2 people.
So how did you feel about that? How did you come back from that? What did you do?
It was hard.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I kept because this person would be like, well, I just can't do it on this day. So I would find myself calling them, I need to change my days. I would change it to that day.
Wow.
Then the people that said I need that day didn't show up.
Wow.
So then I found myself all over the place as far as days and times, trying to adjust to everybody's schedule that was telling me. And then one day I said, stop. You got to stop. You got to do what works for you.
That's
and
right.
then the people will come.
They'll come. They'll come.
So what I did was, I stopped doing it in Auburn. Nobody was participating in Auburn. I had 1 or 2 people that was honestly still there. So that's when some people started reaching out to me about Valley, because I started a Valley class. My Valley class grew just like
they showed you some real love.
They were, I tell you, Valley, I might get in trouble. Valley was one of my best classes.
Wow.
Like those people really, really showed me so much love, and I loved them so much.
Like they even threw you a birthday thing and all of that.
Yes.
Now, was this after? Now, I feel like, and I'm trying with the podcast, I'm trying to be unbiased and not put my opinion in it, but I feel like, of course, God knows what we need when we need it. At some point, you got a call from Wisconsin. Was it Wisconsin?
It was. So
do you feel like that was God saying, this is what I've given you to do.
Yes.
This is a part of your purpose.
So actually, I have a friend, whose name I can't really mention. She works in the industry.
Right.
And they do a corporate event every year. They go to different locations.
Okay.
And she said, this year's theme is like a Western theme. She said, now I don't know if they're going to approve this, because they have to approve it. But I want your permission to shoot the idea to them to have you to come out to Wyoming and teach us some dances during our annual conference.
Wow.
And you'll have to do X, Y, Z.
I love it.
And you need to give me a prize. You need to give me a good
Woo!
prize.
And we're talking about a paid opportunity.
Yes, she said you need to give me you need to make sure you set your fee to what you're worth. And then they'll pay for your flight. They'll pay you per diem. You'll get paid. Wait. You just said set your fee. Set your prices at what you're worth. What you're worth. Because she fussed at me all the time and say.
So you had to think about and honestly say, I'm worth this.
Yes.
That is a moment where God, I think, uses for him to say to us, you're well worth it.
Well worth it. When I say that trip, so when she called me and told me it was approved.
Ooh, girl.
You approved now. In the same day. She said you're approved.
The same day.
Get on the computer. We need to book your flight.
Wow.
So she booked my flight. She booked my hotel room. She did everything. They booked me.
So how did, in that moment when she said you were approved, What was going through your
Girl, I
mind?
was like, God, do it, God. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever you're
Go
taking me, go
ahead.
on and do it.
Yes.
Just do it.
See?
So I was so excited. And she said, Gwen, this is a really great opportunity because I honestly didn't think they would approve it because usually the
Mm.
stuff that they do for entertainment has nothing to do with
Right.
dance and
Right.
nothing.
Right.
And so, but I had to send them my video. I had to send them some videos.
My
She said, "You
goodness.
make sure you send some good videos."
Right.
I had to send them videos. They had
And
to
this was
watch it.
after.
This was before
This
they
was before.
approved it.
Wow.
So they had to sit down and look and see if they wanted to
Do
send
you
me.
see how what you're doing obviously impacts and inspires people for these folks all the way out in Wyoming
Yeah.
to say we need Dancing with Gwen.
Yeah.
Listen, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna be back with Gwen. I'm so into this conversation. But listen, we want to thank, of course, Alfreda and the Voices of Hope for being our headline sponsor for season 1 of Truth Speaks. I love these guys. We'll be right back.
It's too late. Ooh, it's too late, my Lord. It's too late.
And we are back with Gwen James. We're enjoying this conversation so much that this 30 minutes has gone by, and I'm wishing that we had 30 more minutes. But you were just talking about Wyoming. Let's get into the event plan, back into the event planning side of it. Tell me what misconceptions as far as event planning, because I feel like, ooh, I don't want to say I feel like, but I think maybe people have like a misconception that event planning is easy.
Yes, I am so glad you brought that up. So, especially most of my event planning is weddings.
Which that is not a small
It is
undertaking. That is
not.
huge.
It is huge. So I get a lot of brides that come to me and ask for pricing. I have a price for event planning. I have a price for day of planning.
I understand.
And so because they don't want to pay the...
Now you say event planning and day of. What does that mean?
I mean for the full wedding planning and then the day of coordinator. So
there you go. I got you.
One, all I do is coordinate the wedding.
But, which you should. That's the way it should be.
Right. So because they don't want to pay the fee, or somebody in the family says,
I can
you
attest
don't
to
got to
that.
pay her all that. We'll help you plan the wedding. And so,
what comes
means,
into that is you get what you pay for.
But they don't even get that. So
wow.
Here I am. I'm waiting for the day of the wedding because that's what you hired me for. What I do is like 6 days before the wedding, I start getting vendor contact information, reaching out to them so I can get the timeline ready. But then I start getting text messages. Can you tell me this? Can you tell me? No, all that
that's
stuff
not
is
what you
what a wedding planner does.
So how does that go? I'm sure that doesn't go over well.
I have had a couple that have said, you know what, we're just gonna pay you to be the planner because it's not as easy as I thought it was.
Exactly.
So that's the misconception of planning. It takes a lot. It might look like, oh, planning my wedding is gonna be easy. But it's not. I've had a bride to, I guess, fire me and not tell me.
Stop it.
Because she hired me as her day of coordinator.
Wait now.
She hired me as a day of coordinator.
Wait. Ain't nobody fire Gwen James. I find that so hard to believe.
And I didn't even know it.
The woman that gets along with everybody. No, ma'am.
And I didn't even know I was fired until like when I got ready to reach out to get all the vendors to do the timeline. And she told me she decided to go with somebody else. See, the thing is, what I used to do was get hired for the coordinator and still find myself helping them with everything. But then at some point I said, Gwen, you're cheating yourself.
Exactly.
You're giving them something for what they didn't pay for. So I stopped. I've seen a lot of my brides, and one side of me want to rescue them, but one side of me be like, they didn't pay me for that.
Exactly.
I would see them get on Facebook and make posts like, this wedding plan is so stressful, this wedding plan, and then people that know I'm doing that wedding be like, I thought you planned the wedding. No, I ain't planning it. I'm not their planner. I'm their day of coordinator.
Right,
so
exactly.
They think it's easy, or they think I can do it without paying somebody. No, 9 times out of 10, you need a wedding
You've
planner.
got to pay.
Because
Yeah.
that wedding planner will take all that stress away
Right,
from you.
right. In saying that, what would you say to inspire anybody that's looking, that has a passion for anything that they do, and they're kind of, afraid to get out there with it? What advice would you give them?
I would say if it's something that you're passionate about, if it's something that you love, let your gift make you money. Let that gift make room
Girl,
for you.
say that.
Because I went from just simply loving to dance. I made a joke one day on Facebook, and I always go back to that joke. I said, one day I'm gonna have me a plus size dance class. I said,
Wow.
it ain't gonna be nothing but plus size women, but it's gonna be a plus size dance class. When I first started my dance class, it was called Curvy Girls Are Dancing Too. Because it's the misconception.
I think I remember that.
Yes, it was a misconception. Curvy girls, they ain't gonna dance because they lazy.
Right.
So it was called Curvy Girls Are Dancing with the number
I got
two.
you. I got you.
Because we was dancing too. I just changed my name to Dancing with Gwen. I rebranded about 2 years ago to Dancing
Wow.
with Gwen.
I didn't realize that.
So it was just a love for me dancing, and I would dance, and I've always been the hype person of the party.
Absolutely.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start doing this. And now, when I tell you, people are reaching out to me every day.
Do you think social media made it easier for you to get out there and for your brands to grow?
Yes, a lot of people say, and social media can be negative, but it can be positive.
Absolutely.
I
agree.
People from all out of the state, different places reaching out to me. Celebrities reaching out to me about making up line dances.
Stop it.
Create line
and
dances.
that's true. You're creating original choreography.
Yes.
Baby, listen, if you don't copyright some of this stuff, you better before somebody steal your stuff.
It has really been a blessing. Like, I got some stuff coming up that I can't really talk about now, but it's putting me in front of some really big.
Okay, so you can't talk about it now, but are you coming back? You got to come back to talk.
Yeah.
Please, you got to come back to Truth Speaks because listen, give us the exclusive scoop.
Yes, bring me back when I can talk about it.
Will you? Okay. All right, we're almost out of time, but before we go, one of our signature things that we do before we let our guests get off the sofa is we talk about. We ask you, what have you been paying attention to in the news, and what opinion do you have about it? It don't have to be, network. It doesn't have to be CNN or MSNBC or anything like. It could be something off of social media that has caught the attention of a lot of folks, and we've been on there going back and forth about it. What caught your attention?
Well, and it's the obvious. Since January 20th.
Okay.
It's really been a lot going on.
Right.
And
with this new administration.
And I'm one of those people that I try not to see black and white.
Exactly right.
I try not. I look at the heart of people.
Right.
Of how they treat you.
Absolutely.
But it's so obvious what's going on.
It is.
That it's taken a lot. Like even with the DEI, with the people losing their jobs, qualified
people.
Yes. It's just been one of those things. And me, I try to tune it out. I try to keep my mind.
How do you do that? How do you tune it out? Through dancing.
Dance. I kind of, when I see a lot of it, I hide it from my timeline. And it's actually, if you want to hide similar stories. That's a great
idea.
And I hide similar stories. I don't want to see it. I know it's a lot, but it's a lot of stuff. Me fussing on Facebook, there's nothing I can do about it. Long time ago, my grandmama, Aura Lou James.
Come on, Miss Aura Lou.
Put them in God's hand.
That's it.
Confirmation came when I got grown and my pastor was preaching, and he said, it's much more. God can do way more put it in his hand, because my hands is nothing. But when you put it in God's hand, he can do way more with that situation than you can. So now I don't get it.
Even with everything that's going on, because we can't control a lot of it.
We can't.
So
I just keep dancing.
After it's said and baby, what you say? You just keep dancing.
I just keep dancing. You know how sometimes I be like,
that's a word.
Somebody posted on Facebook.
That is a word.
The world is in turmoil. I think the plane crash happened. Something else happened. People were getting fired. They were pulling things. And somebody made a post and said, the world is going wild, and we out here just line dancing. And I shared
I
it.
love
They
it.
said we out here
I
line
love
dancing
it.
and popping
Yes,
things.
yes,
And
yes.
I said,
And you should. I can see you saying and is.
and I shared the post and I said, well, what else y'all want us to do? What can we do about
Baby.
it? And I used that same
I love
I
it.
used that same thing that my grandmama and my pastor preached about. I said, ain't nothing we can do about that. I pray about it, I put it in God's hand, and I keep popping my fan and I keep dancing. Because what else we gonna do?
And with that, Miss Gwen James has given us a mandate. Whatever is going on out here, we gonna do what, Gwen?
Put it in God's hand and keep on dancing.
Keep on dancing.
Keep on dancing.
Listen, this has been Truth Speaks with Gwen James. I have so enjoyed you.
I have enjoyed it.
Thank you for sitting down on this sofa, girl. Listen,
I have enjoyed it.
come back.
I will be back.
All right. Thank y'all so much, and we will see you next time. And listen, we're going to close it out, making sure that you know that our headline sponsor is Alfreda and the Voices of Hope. They are making this possible. Thank you, Alfreda. All right.
It's